Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us for our 5th anniversary stream in the alumni section of our stream. The host of the stream today, I'm going to be upfront with y'all. Me, Michael, and Nick have been streaming since 8 a.m. this morning. I'm too old for this shit, man. I'm tired as hell. Like,
Why
It's
would you do
brutal.
that to yourself?
It's
well,
brutal.
and this is one of those things, Gordon, where like when we were talking about it's the 5th birthday of the program, we should do something. And I can't hear you if you're trying for us to hear you, Michael, by the way. But it was like, yo, and I tossed out, what if we did, and we stopped doing 24-hour streams for Extra Life because it drags in the 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. time. Elspeth, you remember the first couple that we did. So I canceled that for Extra Life, but for some damn
I
reason I was
don't
like,
remember
fair.
all of
Yeah.
it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's just dead.
But I was
Remember
like,
some of it.
we should do a 24-hour stream for our 5th birthday. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, I can't unsay that. I don't want to do that, but we're here, and it has been fun. I think Michael and Nick have eaten way more food than they normally eat in a day. We're at about half
Bro,
of what I normally eat.
bro,
We'll
it's,
explain some
it's
of that to y'all in a
crazy.
little bit too. Um, but we're here till 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we have this portion of the stream happening right afterwards at 8:30. We're playing Fall Guys, where we're all going to get crushed by Maddie and Jacob, and we'll get the most polite but harsh trash talking ever thrown at us. Oh my gosh, the call just got a little bit more molding. That is very exciting to me. And then after that, we're going to be doing a session where we're doing some hot ones. Me, Nick, and Michael, and a few of our staff members are going to be eating some hot sauces and stuff. What's up, Lukian? And after that, we're going to do some painting some minis, and then after that, we're going to figure some stuff out between midnight and 8 a.m. But thank y'all for being here so much today. If we could get us started by just going around the call, and not everybody might see everybody in the order that we're in, so I'll just call on people. If you could say your name, the years that you were in the program, and what you did in the program, that would be awesome. Okay? So we'll start with Nick, who wasn't paying attention. Strong start.
Hey, good to be here. I'm
Name,
Nick.
years you were in the program, and what you did
I
in the
know.
program.
All right.
It's just your name, the years that you were
Okay.
here, and what you did in the program.
Okay, so my favorite food is spaghetti. Um,
Childish.
all right. My name is Nick. I've been in the program from 2019 until currently. And I started out as a member of the FIFA team, and I moved from FIFA team member to interning as a content
Producer.
media intern. Yeah, and now I'm working for the program as a content manager, and I'm here for the 24-hour stream. So looking forward to seeing what everybody has to say.
I think he's going to fall asleep before me today. Michael, are you able to talk? Michael can't hear me. We'll go to... Oh, wait. I didn't know if you had your earphones in. Sorry.
Bro, yes.
Michael, go next. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, hi. I'm Michael. I was in esports from 2018 to around 2021. I was a player in League of Legends, in the League of Legends team,
Rip.
the Overwatch team. Was program manager and then did stream team, and now I work as the alumni outreach / the alumni streamer for Wesleyan. Is that fast enough, Eugene?
I said rip because League of Legends. I wasn't
Oh,
trying to say go faster.
I thought you said go faster.
No,
Yeah.
no, my bad. Okay, Marissa.
Hello. I've been drinking for about 8 years now. Hello, I'm Marissa. I was here from 2021 to 2022. And I was the community manager. One of the community managers, yes. Is that
Okay.
all I say? That's
That
all
is
I say.
You did very well, despite your condition.
Thanks.
Frenchie. Is Frenchie still there? Oh, Frenchie's in twice. All right. I was looking at the blank screen. We can't hear you. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Woo. Oh, my name is Francia, also go by Frenchie. I was in the program 2020, 2019, I don't remember. And then I help with the social media content or content making part of the program.
Okay, Caesar.
My name is Caesar. I was in the program from 2020 to 2022. I was in the stream team for a little bit, and then I was the president of the Dice Masters organization from 2021 to 2022.
War Buffalo. I mean, Parker. Did
Wait,
that mess you up? Okay.
Yeah, you did. You threw me off. I knew what I was gonna say, and then I was. Wait,
Your name?
It's your
you
name.
can't my name. That's the part I was gonna.
Yo, this guy manages my fucking team, bro. I can't. No way.
Name, years you're in the program, and what you did in the
My
program.
name's Parker. I was part of Wesleyan, the esports program from 2018. Yeah, early 2018 to 2021. Yeah, 21. And I was part of the wild ride that was the Overwatch team.
Represent.
Yeah, Michael was there.
Elspeth.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to follow that up, but that was so good.
We can tell you think that by your tone right now. Go ahead.
So, Elspeth, I was in the program 2018 along with Parker as one of the original community managers. Pretty sure that was my title. And then
We didn't have real names.
we
back
didn't
then.
really have real names.
The wage cage. We were called many different things.
We had a window, but we never opened it. Like it was, it's whatever. Up until 2021, when Eugene rudely told me I couldn't come back.
Well,
No, it was just.
why
turned
did
in my
I say that?
resignation. I was graduating.
Yeah. The most emotional and heartfelt resignation letter I've received in my entire career.
I like to think it was a piece of literature.
I audibly laughed out loud. I was embarrassed to send it on. That's how proud I was of it. Gordon.
Hi, I'm Gordon. I had to check my messages with Eugene to find out when I started, but it was 2018. I don't know when I stopped playing Hearthstone, but I was on the Hearthstone team. Yeah, I don't know when I stopped. There's
I
not
think it was
really
2019 when we stopped. 'Cause it was right before COVID. Fall of
Oh, yeah.
2019, I think it was.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right
Yeah.
before COVID.
Okay. Jacob Williams.
All right, my name is Jacob. I was with the program from 2018 till 2021 when I graduated. It feels like longer than that, though. I got to tell you, just that short amount of time packed in a lot of memories. I started out as just the original FIFA member, and then that slowly turned into being the coach, and then the captain, and whatever else Eugene asked me to do. Until I left, and sadly, my life took me outside of Texas. So I wish I could still be doing more for Texas West esports, but glad to be here.
I would say you're still doing plenty. I appreciate it, Jacob. Lukian.
Hi. I'm Lukian. I was part of the program from like 2018 to 2019, and I was a brand risk.
I love you, Lukian.
But there's a
too,
reason.
Michael.
There's a reason that you're invited back. You were also a core part of our program, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well.
There's a lot of rules that were made because of me.
I wasn't going to say that, but that is accurate.
That is an understatement. That is an understatement.
There was a lot
That's
of
his legacy.
we didn't have
I'm a
stuff in place,
visionary.
and Lukian would do something, and I go, "Well, shit. Yeah, I
Lukian
got to write
rules.
that down."
I would also
break a rule, but like we can't have him doing that.
I
Trailblazer.
remember Eugene would tell me those
Exactly,
things
dude,
in
Michael
our
gets
games.
it.
You
Yeah.
can't say that to the enemy team.
I'm going to bring that up too. Oh, Gordon, that I was talking about that earlier on stream. I love that so much. Last two people, Kyle.
Oh, it's my turn finally.
It is. Oh gosh.
Wait, Kyle's here?
Yeah.
Yo, it's Kyle. What's up, man?
It's like the Overwatch team reunion that we never wanted.
This is beautiful. I
didn't
don't
want
know what
it.
you mean.
I don't think
We didn't
anybody
want
wants this. But I think I was here from 2018 to
Yeah.
2019.
hmm
Hard to say for sure. And I competed for a short while on Overwatch and League of Legends. God help those games.
Yeah. All right, and I think Johnny joined fashionably late, so he could be the last one to go. But
As
Johnny,
is tradition.
I mean, can you expect anything less? No, hi, my name is Johnny. I'm one of the diversity hires during my tenure at the
Oh,
program.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely don't know what years. I think it was like 2018.
Yeah, it was a bit. Your situation was a bit weird because you were starting and then you left and then you came back. But you still helped when you were gone, and then you did a lot when you came back. And so I get that for sure. Yeah.
I was just eating even whenever I wasn't on the program, you know. I was a Overwatch member for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
It was turn on your camera. Absolutely not. I'm eating a salad. I'm devouring this. But I was on the Overwatch team for literally a month, and then stuff happened. But then I came back, and I was a wonderful program manager. For a while, would say so myself. And yeah.
Okay. I think I got everybody. Yeah. Okay. Thank y'all for being here. Really, really appreciate it. I wanted to kind of run y'all through a little bit of down memory lane and point out a couple of firsts before we start talking about some of the individual groups involved in the program. So as the brand risk mentioned, Lukian was actually the first recruit that we brought to the school from outside of the school. He came down from New York to play Overwatch for us. Lukian, I mean, genuinely was and still is, from our last conversations, a very skilled Overwatch player, and he honestly helped us build the program. So to give a little bit of context, let me start with this before I talk about the Lukian piece. We researched the program in 2017, and Dr. Hall and I pitched it to athletics to do, honestly. We were like, we think this is a great idea. We think it should be in athletics. The athletic director and associate athletic director at the time were like, yo, this sounds great, but we don't understand this at all, and we can't do this, but we would love to help you do this. So starting December 2017, my job shifted from what it was to esports. I met a few students that were already here, Parker, Kyle, Jacob, kind of early on in that spring. And Lukian was the first person that we brought in from not just outside of the campus, but he came from out of state. He came a long, long way. And although he will say he is a brand risk, or was a brand risk, and although he is correct, he was also a very, very important part of our program, genuinely. And one thing that I always appreciated about Lukian was that he was always honest. He wasn't always honest in the right way, but he was always honest.
All right, look, I don't know if we can call it honesty per se, but it was in that, let's say candor. It was in that vein, you know.
Yeah, no, I
You
agree.
never held your feelings back.
That is true.
You called it as you saw it.
Yes, exactly. My only issue with that is that my feelings were not always honest and objective. That's my problem with that statement.
No one's disagreeing that they were bad.
I did say things that I felt. Things. That is true.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate that every now and then he would admit when he was wrong. He didn't admit he was wrong as often as he was wrong, but every now and then he would admit it, and that was growth. It got a bit better over time. So Lukian was genuinely the first recruit for the program. The first captains that we had for the program, a couple of people, not all of them are here, but the one that is here is Jacob Williams, the first captain, and he was the most long-serving student coach we had. We started trying to dabble with student coaches at the beginning, but then quickly, again, because I was learning a lot in this process, it was like, I don't think we can do that across the board. But Jacob truly is one of the best people that I've ever met, just as far as just being a good-ass person.
Yeah.
Not many people know this, actually. My trust level in Jacob Williams was so high that I gave him a key to the rooms. And it was like, hey, man, if y'all need to do stuff and I'm not here, you're good. I'd like to be here, but y'all are good, you know? But Jacob was one of our first captains. Along with him, just to give shout-outs, Jacob Chesney was another one of our first captains on the Hearthstone team, where he played alongside Gordon. 2K was our first Overwatch captain. I was hoping he was going to be here tonight. He said he was going to be here, but maybe he can join us later. And those were the first three captains that we had. Oh, and Cameron Bennis. I'm sorry, Cam was the first captain we had for our Smash team. I would say the first long-serving community members we had, some of the OGs, in addition to some of the names that I've already mentioned, were Parker and Elspeth. And I think all the names that I've mentioned up to now were involved from early spring 2018 to very early fall 2018, and they helped us figure out a lot of shit and help get us on the track to where we are right now. Everybody in the call did, but they did very much early on. I want to start talking about the competitive teams, though. I'm going to go back to something that Gordon said a little bit ago. Gordon was in the Marines. He was on our Hearthstone team. Our Hearthstone team was the first team we had that had a high amount of success. There was like a 2-week stretch where, and this is shit Texas Wesleyan doesn't really get to say, but we beat UCLA, we beat University of Utah, which is a really strong esports program, and we beat Boise State, which is it was back then and is now a top 5 esports program in North America. And we beat them playing the most off-meta, hack-eyed shit I've ever seen in my entire life, but it worked. But one thing about Gordon, back to what
It
he said,
wasn't off meta.
you know damn well it was off meta. We were like 8 months behind, but nobody was prepared for it. But Gordon was a Marine before he came to the university, and Gordon was another one of our early recruits. We used to call it Marine mouth. Because it'd be like, yeah, guys, we're going to get in here and we're going to do such and such. And Gordon would be like, yeah, yeah, and then we're going to beep, 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 beep. But he'd be saying words. And that was another one for me early on of like, no, there's a camera, there's a mic on right now, dude. What are you doing? So just to give shout outs to the teams really, really quick, and then I want to ask y'all some questions for the teams. Kyle and Michael were both on League of Legends and Overwatch early on. League of Legends, rest in peace. That was a very interesting experiment. I was hoping that Eric was going to be here. He mentioned he was going to be able to come. Maybe he can join a little bit later on as well. I still genuinely feel bad. I've told a lot of y'all this before, that he came to our school to play League of Legends and the team went away a semester later. And I still feel horrible about that. But then Nick on FIFA, and let me see who I'm missing, on the teams out the gates. Okay. So the question I want to ask for the players that are in this call that were on our competitive teams is, what did y'all think of competing for a university when you first started playing? Did you have any thoughts about it? Was it like, oh, cool, whatever? Was it, this is going to be cool? Was it, I don't want to do this, but my friends are talking me into it?
Do you want my honest answer with this?
Oh,
Or,
God.
like-
Here we
I'm
go.
going to mute Lukian, and if
no.
no, honestly, like your thoughts coming into it.
No slurs.
Coming into it, or like when I was playing?
Oh, you hated it when you were playing. I mean, your thoughts coming into it.
Okay. I kind of knew I was better than the collegiate level, but coming into it, I kind of thought like, okay, so I didn't know if I was going to graduate high school, and there's an opportunity that showed up in front of my face, and they say that they have a lot of like pretty good connections. So let me take it and I'll see where it leads me. And I was excited. It was an exciting thing. And the most important thing it did is it legitimized what I did to my parents. Because even if what I was doing was way beneath where I am, I can't explain where I am to anybody. There is no ability to explain that. But if I say, yeah, they recruited me to go play in Texas for Overwatch, to the average person, it sounds like I'm crazy good at it. Right. So I can explain that and I can move on. And that was probably the biggest thing for me.
Okay. What about other folks on the competitive teams? Any
I
thoughts to share?
honestly don't really remember my initial thoughts on. I don't remember my thoughts. I only remember the pain and my thoughts of after the first couple semesters. Really, everything before then is kind of a drunken blur.
There's so much wrong with what you just said.
I don't know how else to describe the first 2 semesters.
Classic
How else
Parker.
would you describe those semesters?
Yeah, that's not what I'm asking you about right now, though. I'm asking just your thoughts coming in, and you're like, I don't remember my
Yeah,
thoughts.
I don't
but
remember.
Pain and drunkenness is all I remember.
That's essentially all I remember.
Eugene.
I remember being excited to play in the first LAN.
Yeah, you were nervous.
I remember talking with the group outside of the music hall.
The LAN was dope, by the way. I just want to add that was sick. I still have this freaking jersey from it on my wall, dude. Like
one?
that was
Yeah.
I
was
lost
sick.
mine in the move. It's so sad.
That's unlucky.
It is.
The LAN was dope, except for Kyle's ping on his computer. That was
Playing
very
from the
unfortunate.
Deutschland. Yeah.
Yeah. The German VPN that they had installed for some reason made no
on that
sense.
one computer. Yeah.
Yeah, 600 pings or whatever. It was great.
You were playing. Yeah, you would have been fine.
Gordon, you were going to say something a second ago.
I thought it was really cool because that was the reason I actually came to Texas Wesleyan. Like, I had beaten Hearthstone in my mind because I'd hit Legend. I was like top 200 players, And I was like, oh, well, I'll move on to my next game. And then you guys were doing an esports team, and I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to see how I compete against like others at my level and with other players, and like kind of have a group mind, see how that feels. So it's cool. Kind of why I
Okay.
came to Texas Wesley, actually.
Okay. What about the FIFA players? I know Nick, you joined that second semester, but what were y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, I could offer an answer that I hope is a little clearer than Parker's. That's
Hard to get more clear than that.
No, it's not.
I didn't come to Wesleyan to play esports, unlike some others here. But looking back on it, it's another one of the reasons that I just feel so confident that I made the right choice coming to Wesleyan because of the opportunities that it gave me. I came to play football, and then when I had to explain to friends back home that I was now playing esports, it was a joke at first to a lot of people, and obviously it's a new industry and it's still growing, and a lot of people are in the dark about that. But
I don't know if we're still in the growth phase right now, considering the recession and.
No. We're growing. Trust.
Overwatch is growing. Believe me, they're definitely doing some good stuff, man, for sure.
I would genuinely say the definition of what is esports is expanding enough that you can say it's still growing, but old school esports orgs are not growing.
Okay,
but still, Jacob's point from 5 years ago is still true.
It's definitely bigger than what it was when we all.
Y'all see FaZe?
Yeah, dying. Yes.
I'm more so just saying, if I were to talk to someone from a different generation, they would know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a higher likelihood that they would know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people about it sometimes, and they assume that I compete in like massive tournaments for mega prizes because they've heard about Fortnite or other things on Twitter or something. So at least, the word's getting out there for a lot of people that didn't know about it. Anyways, that was my experience coming in, was having to, similar to Lucian, rationalize it, but for different reasons. And it's one of the highlights of my undergrad experience now, which is so funny because it would never been a thought in my mind coming into it.
Mm-hmm. Nick, anything, or Michael, anything? I know we haven't talked to you on this, Michael, yet for the competitive teams.
So I was not I was like the average player. I wasn't really that good joining in. So I was like, I think it was Zach Lenham was the reason why I joined, and 2K. Was because I was like, I played video games. I'm not good, but I would love to get better. And that was like my mindset going in. And I was super, super excited because growing up, video games has always been a hindrance to me, like hindrance to my grades. And I was like, I will get nowhere playing video games. And I was like, wait, I could actually go to school and play video games and like achieve something greater as a team. I was like, that's like the coolest thing to me. So I was super hyped for it.
Okay. Anything to add before we move on to other group, Nick?
No, I mean, mine was pretty similar to Jacob. Like, I didn't come to Wesleyan to play FIFA. I mean, I came here to play table tennis, and then I came in during an Overwatch scrim to talk to Eugene, which was a mistake. But, I stuck around long enough to find out when the tryouts were, and yeah, I mean, best decision I made by far, so happy to be here.
Awesome. And the rest of the folks in the call kind of fall into overlapping categories of being on staff and helping with community stuff. And Caesar, I would say, even before you were on Dice Masters, you were involved in helping with stuff, even though you might not have had a specific role. So I want to ask y'all, Frenchie, Johnny, Elspeth, Marissa, Caesar, what were your thoughts of the esports program at the beginning? Not having as defined roles of being players, right? Some of y'all came in as staff members, some came in kind of knowing people and getting connected. So just talk about that a little bit if you don't mind. Whoever wants to go first. All right. Well,
girl, I was typing and nobody wanted to talk. Go ahead. Take the floor.
No, you go, Johnny. You go.
No, it is okay. Go ahead.
You can go first.
Oh my.
That was really cool. So I had no idea esports, didn't know her, right? But then Eugene kind of gave me the opportunity to be somewhat involved, and I was just really excited. And then just kind of connecting with different platforms, like still learning Discord, Twitch, had no idea how to use them, but learned along the way and helped out with social media. So.
Well, and I would say to Frenchie's credit as well, one of the huge things that she helped our program with, and this is a mistake I was making prior to that, I was only looking for people that were interested in esports specifically to help with the program outside of the teams. But we had known each other for a couple years at this point, Frenchie and I, and she was talking about social media and what she knew about it. And Elspeth, I know you remember at the beginning the staff that we had. I was like, "Who wants to take care of social media?" And all y'all were like, "I mean, we can."
I have a social media. Does that
But
count?
yeah, I have social
So
media.
there's one.
Yes. But then Frenchie, even though she didn't have a ton of knowledge on the esports industry, she knew enough about social media that it could still be helpful to our department. So she learned about Discord and learned about Twitch while she was helping us with social media, and that kind of changed the paradigm for it. It opened up who we were open to. So it wasn't just these people; it was these people. So that's a thing that's still positively impacting us today. Just to be transparent. Okay, so who else? Caesar, Marissa, Elspeth, Johnny, Marissa.
Hello. Just being so amazingly good at video games, y'all had to put me in community manager. I didn't want to outshine any of the players. I'm just kidding.
Very humble.
I'm sad. But I mean, I don't know. I just saw there was an esports program and I was like, oh, that's cool. I game. I play House Flipper for 8 hours, and I did a lot of event stuff in high school and I thought it was fun. And it ended up being the only reason I wanted to continue going to Texas Wesleyan.
Mm-hmm.
So, because plans change. I didn't like my major. Why would I continue paying for a major I didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a hard decision to even leave because y'all were probably the best part of my time there. So it was a blast. Streaming with Benji, greatest
It
thing.
takes two. Y'all would get so actually mad at each other sometimes too.
No,
it'd be like
Streaming with Benji is always a good time. Always.
We talking about him like he's dead.
Yeah.
Benji had such a good soul. He will be missed. But yeah, it was always a blast.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Elspeth, Caesar, Johnny. If y'all have anything to say right now, that's fine too. I want to make
Johnny
sure
unmuted
you have a
himself,
chance.
I'm gonna go.
You can go ahead. I'll go after you. I go after you.
You know he wants to go last.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're acting
okay.
surprised.
I don't know why you think I'm dramatic. I'm not.
Your word, not mine.
Okay.
Elspeth is trying to talk, so Johnny.
We'll get to that later.
It's my turn, Johnny. Okay. So let's see. I initially hadn't planned on coming to Texas Wesleyan. So when I did wind up on campus in 2018, I was poor, so I had to find a job on campus. So, and then I found that there was the esports program that had literally just started. And I was like, oh, this is great because this is where my interests lie. This is what I love to do in my spare time. So reached out to Eugene and we had an interview and it was in this dark little room.
That's creepy, and I don't know why you're saying it that way.
But it was.
It was the white room. It was
the lighting is fluorescent, Eugene. It's still
not dark. Bad lighting is still light.
There's boxes.
It was like 8 a.m.
and
and it was super dark.
There was two
Okay, I'm gonna start muting people. No.
It was two computers, and then we kind of got along, and then we had a good interview, I felt, and then I got hired, and then I met my coworkers, and from there it just bundle of chaos, but it was fun chaos because it was pure trial by fire and error, and figuring out what works, the different teams that were going on, how do we manage them, Overwatch, Hearthstone, where there was two of them and they were great. League of Legends, the Poor Souls. So it was a fun experience throughout it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Caesar?
Yeah, I joined esports for all the wrong reasons, honestly. I see Michael laughing because he knows. But at first, I had transferred from Corsicana, so I was a junior in college, so I didn't really know anyone. I wasn't didn't have that community. and Michael was my mentor. He was like, "You should join esports," and I was like, "Okay," but I never actually did. Until like a couple months later, I was like, "Wow, okay, I think I'm gonna join esports," and it was a lot of fun. I was like, "Oh, I kind of dig this. I guess I'll stay in it." But I don't play games. I was like, I play Stardew Valley like every now and then. And Eugene was like, "You play Stardew Valley? You want to stream for Stardew Valley?" And I was like,
Hold
I
on real
get
quick. Y'all make me sound like some creepy, hanging out in a dark room. Hey, you like Stardew Valley? That's
it seems
not how
like
that
everyone here
conversation
has
went at all.
You play World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay, here we go.
it seems like everyone here has a similar story of them being poor, and you coming out the door like, "Hey, you want a job?"
All right,
Like
well,
that's
thank y'all very much for joining us for the stream tonight. No.
True.
Thank you. Eugene said
I'm
the
sorry.
stuff
Go ahead,
already.
Caesar. Go ahead.
I was
after
promised puppies,
the
Eugene.
after joining the stream team, I was like, "Oh, this is a lot of fun." And I played D&D, so I was like, "Hey, Eugene, do we have a D&D club?" He's like, "Well, we did, but yeah." And I was like, "Oh, kind of sucks." He's like, "You want to be the president of the D&D club?" I was like, "I guess." And so for 2022, we did Dice Masters, and it was a little difficult getting it up and running because we were like kind of starting from scratch. But
Yeah.
after a while, we were doing pretty good. We were in the Extra Life stream for that year and another 24-hour stream. I feel like that really helped us out. And I think the main thing that kept me being in the esports program was the sense of community. And like it's really diverse to seeing the program because I'm not, yeah, the department I was in wasn't as diverse. So being in a program where you see so many different people from different departments, people of color, different communities and stuff like that, it was really nice to see. So I was like, I might as well just stay here till I graduate. And that's basically it. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for sharing that too. So I guess that just leaves Your Highness to share his thoughts before we move on. Johnny, can you bless us with your words, please?
I mean, I can try my best. Well, well, I think for me, I was a very, how do you say, dynamic person in terms of like how. Okay, stop. I already know. Anyway,
For me, I
you
was perfection personified, and
well, I mean, you said it, your words. But no, I think for me, since I had what I was gonna say is like I have a very dynamic background. Like,
A
of
lot of
course, I
dynamic,
play
yeah.
games, but like I have a background in like communications and like coaching and stuff like that. So I thought I brought like a very interesting perspective, I guess, to
I
kind of
agree.
the program from like dealing with people like Lukian and making sure, they're okay to um doing great things with Frenchie, shout out to the cousin who's not my cousin, but everybody thought we were. Um, but just like I think what I enjoyed most about it was I kind of was like all over the place just doing different things. And I felt like a lot of the stuff that I did was kind of the start of where things were going.
Sure.
Not necessarily the exact things, but I think like ideally it was kind of like, ooh, what creative things can we do that are not just, hey, let's scream at computers as hetero men for like hours. Like, what else can we do to, represent other people, and just have like different perspectives and like what esports is. So I don't know. I just think I low-key forgot what the question was. And
You're giving a very good pageant answer, though. I really appreciate it.
oh my god, thank you so much. Honestly, I ate that. But did I get
Are
first
we
We're
gonna,
at
place?
a time
judge them?
limit, so
We're
like,
gonna
yeah,
have like
keep going. We're gonna run out of
some
time. And we'll hold
numbers.
up a
To
cue
start
card.
playing the music. No, but
World
I would agree with
peace.
that. Johnny, I really would agree with that. Of like, you came in with a very varied skill set. So it was like, oh, there's a lot of different stuff that Johnny can do in the program, and I think you showed that really, and that really did help. And
But I
that's
do have. Oh, sorry. The last thing I
go
have
ahead.
to say is I have to give a shout out to Jacob Chesney, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never like even been a part of the program or anything. And he kind of was the person to like introduce me to Eugene and stuff like that. So
Well,
I think
and
like
J-Dog.
Jacob was genuinely, when we were researching this in the fall of 2017. Jacob helped every step of the way. He really, really did. Jacob Chesney was a huge part of this getting off the ground. his passion, his skill set, all that kind of stuff. He went along with me and did a lot of presentations talking to folks to get support and to help with the approval process. And he was our first staff member in the department. He was our first captain in the department, our first player in the department. Jacob played a tremendously positive role.
That man was a rock.
I would actually
Sorry.
like to add to this, despite a lot of things. Jacob was one of the few people that when I came down from New York really made me feel like I had some kind of support in Texas at all. So I would like to add that to this portion of the conversation. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. That's awesome. Well, I wanted
that
to
was cute. Sorry,
That was very kind. That was very kind. I wanted to transition from here to talk about some highlights, some stories, things that stood out from y'all's experience in the program. Ideally positive, but if you want to say not positive things, I trust y'all, including Lukian.
Well, what you need to understand, Eugene, is that the positives wouldn't stick out if there weren't such incredible lows at moments.
Yeah.
Because yes,
peaks and valleys.
Yes,
well, I made the average positive, Kyle. You got to understand that. I brought the average to like here.
I don't know about that, Lucian, because
I think you're wrong.
No. He was Lucian was nothing but wins. Nothing.
In my head, maybe.
Excuse me?
Man never took an L in
in your
life.
head. 100%
I still dream
in
of the timeline, Lucian, where you aren't removed to the Overwatch team and we maybe win more games. I dream of that all the
we
time.
Didn't have to bring that up. I'll transition from that to, y'all might not have noticed this, but one of my personal highlights of the program, Jacob Williams did a wardrobe change. What is that you're wearing? Not in a weird way. Look at his jacket.
What are you wearing, Jacob?
I thought I saw you notice when I.
Oh,
when
I did.
did.
I
saw your reaction. This is one of the rewards from the national championship that we won in my final year with the program. They sent me a like custom jacket, NACE, and then it's got my name on the back. And I never wear it ever, but I figured since I'm on stream and this is an alumni stream, I might as well pop it on because I'm not the kind of person to walk down the street with my name on my shirt.
Yeah. Well, and I would say for me, I think it's good to have. It's good to have things that you don't wear normally that you can just bring out every now and then. Kind of like the national championship ring that we got when the FIFA team won a national championship in 2021. And this is, I've told this story to a lot of people recently. What's really meaningful to me about this is, one, not only did we win a national championship, which was incredible, the peak viewership on that final match was a little over 11,000 people on Twitch. For a school of 2,500 people, that's incredible. But this is the meaningful thing to me. The ring that we got, not just because it was a ring, but because at most schools, if you win something, they buy a ring and give it to you. At our school, we designed this ring. Nick and Jacob, y'all remember, we got the different mock-ups from the dude, and it was like, what do you like from this? What do you like from that? And that, I think, truly is a reflection of who we are as a program. And I'm not trying to be self-congratulatory when I say this, but I hope y'all felt that through your experience too. I never tried to approach this as I know more than y'all, listen to me, and things will go well. I mean, there were times when it was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Y'all know more than I do about this stuff. What can we do? And that's I think where we've gotten a lot of our success from. So yeah, I would say the one weird thing about the national championship too is I won Coach of the Year that year.
Yeah.
And that was the game that I coached the most, but it was like, can I give it to Jacob? Like, Jacob was the coach. Like, I helped out, but and they were like, no, that you were nominated. It's like, oh, okay. So I almost still sent him the little postcard thing that they gave me, or the little certificate.
Honestly, I think it was a momentum of like years of your influence on me. So that's how I feel about it.
You're good, man. That's not true.
Those
That's
kind
real meaningful.
words.
Really, really meaningful. Thank you for that. What about some stories that stand out from y'all's experiences?
Oh God.
There's one I'll use to start us off. and I'm not trying to pick at this person. I won't say a name. No. I'm not going to say any of your stories. I'm not trying to get a
Oh, yeah, that's what I
TOS on
thought.
Twitch.
I
Why
was,
would I do
I was a
that?
little confused. Yeah.
I have a
but it
feeling
was,
I know where this is going.
Oh no, it was funny. It was so at the time. This is one thing that some other programs don't realize. When I hear other directors talking about like, yeah, we had a 3-week tryout process and we had, 40 people try out for our, League of Legends team. For us, sometimes we did tryouts. Sometimes it was like, hey, do you play? Because we have an open spot and we need to make a roster. And that's the reality of where we were, right? Not for all of our teams, but that was the way it was sometimes. Well, at this specific point in time, and Johnny, I think you'll remember this. Johnny and Kyle, I think, were there. It was when we did tryouts for Overwatch. We didn't have enough people trying out to do any kind of scrims. So it's exactly what I'm going to say, Michael. It's exactly what I'm going to say. People would be sitting here at a computer, and we'd be behind them taking notes. And this particular person, I'm not going to say any names, and it's nobody here, wasn't as strong at the game, but wanted to try out, and we let everybody try out. They were playing Zenyatta.
Oh.
It was on the Eisenwald. I'm blanking on the map. Eichenwald. The character came up the stairs, and Johnny's reaction to this lives rent-free in my brain to this day. And this was 4 or 5 years ago. The person came up the stairs, and there was somebody up there attacking, while our player came up, didn't see that person, started shooting on Zenyatta off the ledge. The other player strafed in front of him, so the person saw, backed up, and if this was the target, they shot, and missed like 4 or 5 shots in a row. The person turned around and killed him. And that happens. People make mistakes. Some people are better than other people, like whatever. But Johnny's reaction to that was like I was in a freaking sitcom. Johnny's watching, he's sitting there, pen and paper, and with each miss, Johnny went. Just kept. And I felt so bad because I had spent so much time during those tryouts. Somebody would maybe like make a little laugh at somebody like, I can't believe they didn't do that. And I'm like, hey, stop. That's not what we're doing. We're not trying to break people down. We're trying to build them up. And then Johnny started doing that, and I was like, and I had to leave the room. And I think there's a lot of silly, light, childish things like that I think made it meaningful to me I was on campus a lot doing this, but it was cool because there was always those stories, always those interactions, always Elspeth mercilessly talking shit to people in meetings, but doing it with a smile and then being very confused by it. Like, is she being nice or mean right now?
I'm not sure what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of things.
We talked about sleep paralysis demons earlier. We might be dealing with one of those situations here. But no, I wanted to ask y'all, were there any stories or moments that stood out to you that you look back on and
What's
just
the
reflect on
story
the
that-
program, positive kind of? What's
All
up?
right.
What won't get us banned, Lukian?
I have one, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not necessarily esports related, man.
Okay.
But it is with people in the esports program, and I feel like this is what it's more about, is like a community aspect type of thing, right?
Right.
So I don't know what I was doing. I was probably grinding Overwatch that night, getting banned on like a third account or something, in my dorm. I'm not really sure, but I was on the Overwatch team with Michael at the time, and we had just met. We kind of hit it off, and we were friendly. We hung out. We were pretty good friends very, very quickly out of the gate. And him and Eric went up in Arlington. Now, I was telling them about how much I liked Krispy Kreme donuts like a day before, and they drove by a Krispy Kreme, and they brought them back and knocked on my door. So I'm sitting there yelling at somebody in Overwatch. I get up and walk to my door, and there's a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts waiting for me. And I was like, that's fucking dope. And I ate them all in that night, and that's why I was 250 pounds when I was in Texas. But that's really not necessarily the point of the story. The point of the story is that like there was a lot of people in the program that is just heartwarming things like that happened a lot more than you would think.
You're gonna make me cry, bro.
Cough.
Dude, I remember that shit.
I would say another one, and I'm gonna. This was a private video. We didn't release it. We looked at it internally. But another thing that stands out to me as a really positive thing, kind of similar to what Johnny said earlier. Frenchie played a positive role in getting a lot of things started, and she got our early content creation stuff kind of off the ground. And she did some like test footage, demo footage of putting some things together. And I edited a very short, under 1 minute video.
Wait, is it what I think?
To watch it.
Yes.
It's
Is
the
it Ram
on
in the
Streets.
Streets?
The Ram in the
Yeah.
Streets.
No.
It is one of my favorite things.
Oh, no.
I might release it in the next week or so, but I encourage you to grab that link and watch it. We're not going to watch it on stream. Maybe we'll watch it on the stream later, actually, because
1
we have
a.m.
8 hours after midnight.
I got you. I got you.
But that kind of stuff was just really cool to me. People putting themselves out there. I think about.
I'm just saying, we ate that. We ate that. I ate that camera work. You see that? That was me.
Yeah.
That was me. Oh, but no, real quick on that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
It was so fun pushing Frenchie out of her boundaries because we were pretty good friends because we were both in the School of Business. And when I tell you, I sat there and I was like, I hyped her up and we went to everybody. I was like, we're gonna make this so fun. Like we just started interviewing like random people and even like professors and stuff. Oh my god, it was so iconic
It
and
was
hilarious.
so funny.
That's
I wish
awesome.
we would have gotten it off the ground because there was some really funny stuff on there.
Well,
But
blame the
yeah.
global pandemic, but yeah.
That really slowed things down a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interviewing was
It was-
not
it
up
was
for
fun.
par.
I would also say, talking on laying the foundation for stuff, Marissa did an excellent job with that. As Elspeth talked about, when Elspeth started, it was like, we got to do some shit. I don't know what it's going to be. We're going to figure it out. When Marissa came in, we had a bit more of a direction, but she still elevated what we did as far as community engagement in a really, really positive way. And she just has this, I don't know the best way to say it, like positive restlessness. Like, let's do some stuff. What about this? We can try this. And it wasn't like a laborious, well, I guess we'll figure some crap out. It was, here's a bunch of ideas. What do you want to do? And that really, I think, helped prop up a lot of the community engagement stuff that we've done in the program during that time and since.
Having that energy versus Benji, who's like, let's take our break now. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
let's take the
I
break.
was like, I just got here. What are you talking? And I was like, you just got here. You just came back from Witch. Which he would get a pizza witch every single shift.
Ow.
And it's gross. They're gross. I'm sorry.
They're horrible.
Bad. And he would just be like, nah, you're wrong. I hired you. Which, by the way, I will never.
He was
let
in the
you-
interview. That was it.
Yeah. How dare you let him be in the interview? Because every time I see him, he's like, I hired you, kid. And I'm like, we're the same age. We're both 19, dude.
Was the interview in a larger dark room?
Okay, you can't talk about people's behavior. Anybody in this call can talk shit about me except for you, okay?
No, he can't because he's risen above that.
No,
He is
because
not.
when it comes
He
to
is
dark
not.
Well, no,
rooms,
it's
there's
seen
no
by Call of
difference
Duty
in
games,
bro. What are
in
you
the
on?
room.
But
Yeah,
I do want to.
His voice would come out of the shadows.
Like a phoenix from the ashes.
I do want to point out somebody just joined the call. Is that 2K?
Yo, what up? Can you hear me?
Oh, it's my boy.
What's up? Still got the radio
what's up,
voice.
Let's
Hey, what's
go.
going on, fellas? It's your boy
Always,
2K.
always.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing very well. Just for the people in the call that don't know you, say your name, when you were in the program, and what you did in the program for me, please.
My name is Zach Williams. I was in the program, I think, from 2016 to 2020?
Close, 2018.
Um,
Program didn't exist in 2016. But he was our
Yeah,
first captain for our
2018, yeah.
Overwatch team. I was in
True.
the program in 1988.
Yeah, 1979. Yeah, basically what I did for the program was I sort of kind of pioneered the Overwatch roster. And I think, I mean, Eugene could help clarify this, but I think kind of help set up somewhat of team structure and how we would approach practice and sort of give kind of the competitive side of things that I had been in over to, you know, the way that you wanted to run your program. So I think it was really useful and definitely a good use of my time for sure. And, you know, it was really beneficial for the program, I hope. So
Yeah, I think it was. I think that was one of those meeting 2K was one of those weird things of we're starting the program, we're talking to people. I'm explaining to Parker how we're not going to have a StarCraft 2 team because it's a very small but passionate fan base.
I don't play the game anymore.
No, but I'm just recounting the history of the program. Stop making it personal.
Yeah.
And I get an email from this guy, Zachary Williams. Hey, what's up? I hear we have a esports program starting. I would love to talk to you about it. I was like, yeah, sure, come on in. And I got a lot of emails around that time like that. And there was a lot of people that were like, I play Johnny Thompson's Splunkers 9.
Right,
Are you going to
right.
have an esports team of that? And it was like, no, we're not. But 2K came in and was like, hey, yeah, I've competed, on amateur level in Overwatch and helped coach on an amateur level too. You think maybe I could help with the program? I was like, oh yeah, let me get back to you on that. I think we can work something out. But it was like, yeah, yes, because we didn't have anybody at that point that was helping with any of our competitive teams. So he came in and played a very, very positive role at the beginning and helped set a structure for a lot of what we did. So yeah, played a very, very positive role. It's good
That's
to hear
good.
your
I'm
voice.
glad I
Man.
can make that impact.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
like to make one small correction, though. He said amateur. I was assistant coach and bot analyst for Dallas Fuel, Northern Gaming Red, Colorado Clutch, and 2 other tier 1 orgs. So you would know if I named them. But
Almost, it's always a promo. It's always a promo.
True. Has to be a walking promo.
Yeah, Zach's the reason why I came to the program, so I owe a lot to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Glad you're doing well, dude. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Wish I had stories that weren't TOS.
Me
What's
too,
that?
man.
I literally don't think there's a single good Overwatch story that doesn't either have like a very negative spin to it or is just horribly TOS violating.
What
remember,
I
like
No,
we
I
were
absolutely
a
do.
rambunctious group.
I absolutely do. It was we went to a let's see,
LAN?
we went to a couple lands,
Yeah,
but
we did.
the one that was in Deep Ellum at the Mavericks
Yeah.
Gaming Arena.
Yeah.
That was
The
by
laptops.
far, that was by far my favorite event that we went to.
Mhm.
And it was for those reasons. One, the company that was on site with the machines had laptops with really weird reses that we could never fix. Along with that, we all simultaneously figured out that we would have less stress on the main stage if we all sing Country Roads.
I forgot about that. Yes.
And I have that video
So good.
on my Canon camera when we sang Country Roads. I still have that. And it was also the first time, I'll get kind of personal, I guess. It was the first time my dad
remember he took us
ever
to
saw
lunch.
me compete.
Mhm.
And he saw me at that arena, and it was really funny because I kind of doo-dooed on this GM Reinhardt in the last game. I shattered him and had his whole team on the ground, and I almost stood up. I was so excited, but that'd be BM, so I didn't.
We another funny
that's
thing.
a non-TOS story, you know?
Yeah, that's safe. That's good.
No,
that's
that's
good.
probably the best. That's probably the best story you could come up with for the history of Overwatch.
Y'all could have just streamed on Kick, and then we wouldn't have had this.
Oh God!
You would have been good to go.
Okay,
It was so-
Lukey and Ross, calm down, buddy.
No, hold on. I think he's onto something.
I was gonna say another story too. Crap, my bad. I think some of my memories with the Overwatch team specifically that I can say on stream, that didn't involve Lukian's behavior or whatever, was just that we would be in this room for such a long time.
The practices.
And the talking in
Yeah,
between the
yeah.
stuff. That's the stuff that was meaningful to me.
The culture was pretty awesome.
Yeah, like when not a dark room, Frenchie. You can't say that in a dark room, okay?
True.
With your creepy setup, Frenchie. So I remember one time when we were talking about stuff, I think it was politics related, and Lukian very innocently tried to say, I don't understand why America can't just, claim all the land that touches
Right.
America. And Kyle gently pointed out what manifest destiny is and the problematic history associated with that.
Specifically, no. I think you're slightly misremembering. It was specifically, he's like, yeah, when I lived up in New York, there was very distinct poor communities.
I was trying to figure out how to tell this story.
I really wish.
To avoid saying that.
I really wish we could go in there and help them out, economically uplift them. We have a duty. And I was like, Lucian, I understand you mean well, but there's also this racist term called the white man's burden, where you're thinking that the poor people are just too dumb.
Right.
I remember
it was the one.
So what you're saying is it's their fault, right, Kyle? That's what you're saying.
Okay, Kyle,
listen,
I
that's what you were saying. No.
All right.
Kyle, I also do have a request from chat. They asked you to turn on the camera and do the pretzel one time for the one time.
He doesn't have a camera.
God.
Let me see if I can get on. Let me see if I can get on my laptop.
Let's
Have an
go.
webcam. I'll be right back, and I'll try and set that up so you can see me put my feet behind my head.
You gotta
Let's
see.
go.
Well,
I will
that's
do
good.
it.
You gotta do the
Let's
live.
go.
I can still do it.
That's one of
I
those
can
things that's
still
really
do it.
funny.
Arena photo.
If you're familiar, if anybody in chat or anybody in the call that doesn't know Kyle has ever watched Death Note, the anime, there's a character. What is his name?
Hell
K
yeah.
or L or
L.
how
Or
does he sit in his seat?
Ryuzuki or something.
He sits with his feet
L.
on the seat. His knees are up. That was how Kyle played. Like he'd just be sitting, and he was good. He was really good. Kyle.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about Kyle, I feel like somebody could invent a game today and say, "Hey, Kyle, I just invented this game. Do you want to try it out?" And he would be better than them by the end of the day.
Definitely above
He
average.
has a brain
sure.
for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he used to sit like that. But the pretzel thing, what makes me laugh about that is when we were at that Mavs tournament that the 2K was talking about, me and Jacob were taking a lot of pictures, and Kyle, just being stupid, was sitting there, and he pulled his feet up and clapped his feet together. And it was like, oh, take a picture of that, ha, ha, ha. And in the moment, it was like, ha, ha, ha. Afterwards, when I'm going through the pictures to figure out which ones to send on to my boss, and like, hey, look at this event, it's like picture, 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 picture of Kyle rocked back like this with his feet up, and it's like clapping his feet and his legs open, and it was like, oh, delete that. There's no
Don't
reason
send
for that to be
one.
on any camera. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Here's
But
a
that
memory.
was
It's
really
a
funny.
clip for you to watch later in the stream, Eugene. It's this is a I think this is probably peak Overwatch of whatever version you want to call it, where
Would
we
you
had
rather have?
Chen, Twang Ming, Emilio, Michael, and me.
Didn't they all go back to China and like just not compete like at one point in time? Wasn't that
Yeah,
like
they
a,
went
like,
back
like
to
a
China.
story
They
arc?
left their
Also-
stuff with Michael.
They
Yeah,
also
went home
left-
for COVID. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, didn't
left their
something
shit-
happen?
Yeah, they left their shit at my house.
They
Or
didn't
like-
just, I gotta go home. They something happened.
Hey, I recently sent Twain and Ming their shit back. They
Wow.
and like recently, like I'm like 2 months ago, I recently sent all their shit back, and it was like they just asked for like random shit back. They let me keep everything else. So I have like a
Did they-
Roomba
for-
that screams at me in Chinese. They gave me like just like random shit.
For context, when COVID popped off, the March 2020, February March 2020, a lot of people thought it was going to be a lot more short term than it really was.
Of course.
And they were like,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
Michael, can we keep our stuff with you for when we come back in the summer or
Right.
fall?" And Michael was like, "Yeah, sure." But they have
Ain't
not
coming
been back. Yeah, so
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
that was weird. Well, that was a tagline for COVID, I guess, in a lot of ways too. I know we're getting close on time right now, but I just want to do one more call to see if there's anybody that wanted to share anything that stood out, stories, funny stories, happy stories, whatever.
I wanted to let Nick share his story that I know he knows what I'm thinking of. I don't know if he's spoken much now. I want to hear from his perspective.
Wait, who is that? Is that Jacob?
Of course.
No.
Damn, dude, I haven't seen you in so long. Real quick, before Nick talks, if you don't mind, real quick, I'm an educator now. I'm a teacher now. I graduated from Texas West. I'm a teacher, and I teach band at a middle school. And all of my kids, all of them play FIFA. All of them.
Yeah.
And every one of them want to challenge me to a giant 1v1 and all that. And I always tell them, every single time I tell them, I can't beat you, but I know a Williams who can. Every single time. And I'm thinking of you when I say it. And so it's just so good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well, dude.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I still can't see you, but it's good to hear your voice.
But Zach can
That's
see
a
you.
cool story,
so,
though.
Yeah.
That's a really cool story about you being a teacher and your kids and stuff, man. Congrats, by the way. That's a cool gig.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Nick, yeah, the one with the screaming, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So unlike a lot of other esports teams, FIFA is extremely quiet when we're playing our matches. If we score a goal, it might be like, yeah, let's go, or vamos, or what other languages we had on the team. But there was, compared to a lot of the other teams, there was it was pretty quiet. Oh Lord, somebody's joining. But anyway, so we had one of our matches. There was best of 5, so whoever won 3 matches pretty much won the week, so to speak. And so pretty much we always had 1-0 because Jacob's humble, but it was pretty much always 1-0 because Jacob was gonna win. And then I want to say that the 2 next people lost, so we were losing 1-2. So we needed to win the next, like the last 2 games that were going on. We needed to win, and it was me and Claudio. Claudio is not here right now, but he was a FIFA member, and we were both in golden goal, which means like we tied the full game, and
Sudden
like
death.
next goal wins, sudden death. And I remember pretty much almost at the exact same time, Claudio and I were sitting next to each other. PC, Claudio's on my left, and I looked over and he scored. So it was 2-2, which meant like everyone was going to be watching me. And I was like, frick, like I don't really want people watching me. So I just need to shoot the ball now. And like, so Claudio scored. He like jumped, started screaming stuff in Spanish that I didn't understand, but it was awesome. And then I shot it because I didn't want people to watch me. And it was like this crazy long shot goal. It went in and we all won. And God, I'm really distracted by the screenshot. I'm sorry. I'm really distracted by the screenshot on the chat. Basically, we all screamed together. It was one of the most amazing moments of my collegiate esports and just college in general. God, Michael just pulled it up on the stream. That's even worse. But yeah, that was definitely the most as a team I've ever felt. So
just to add to that real quick, if we have time, or do you want to cut it off?
Go ahead.
Just quickly, I wasn't watching either because I was so nervous. Because once you're not playing, the nerves set in, and you just hope that the rest of the team pulls it out. And I wasn't looking. I was looking at the wall. All of a sudden, I just hear a scream in my right ear, and then not like a half second later, I hear a scream in my left ear, and everyone is just screaming simultaneously. And I don't know if it's good or bad, because it could just be like, oh, I just got scored on frick, or it could be like what happened. And as a coach, as a player and a coach, half the struggle is like getting the team to perform as well. So I felt like I was under a lot of pressure, and that like took so much weight off my shoulders. And moving forward from that, I felt like that was a transition point for us where we had a lot more fun practicing, had a lot more fun playing. And, just the act of scoring simultaneously in two different games, is the odds of that happening are so low, and just crazy moment.
Kyle, I see that you got your camera on. That's super
One time
weird.
for the one time. Let's go.
I can still do it.
His leg is behind his bot.
Yeah.
Don't fall.
Yeah,
Don't get
I
stuck
can
either.
still put both feet behind my head. Yeah,
Legend.
I'm still that flexible.
Yeah. So we'll use that to transition to our last thing. And I was saving this for last. I know Caesar brought it up in chat too. But what's become a tradition over the past year or two of our program for streams that we do is the very budget game, crab game, the kind of knockoff of Squid Game. We played at the end of streams, and you did cheat. You were getting real sweaty before you came, and
You're
practiced a bunch,
so
but
mad
whatever.
that I
No,
literally had
I'm not
30
good at the
minutes,
game.
and I came back and whooped your entire program
Skill
after
diff,
playing for
skill diff,
30
skill diff,
minutes.
skill diff.
I've never
Skill
played
diff.
crab game.
Skill diff.
It's so
Big
stupid,
mad.
but it's fun.
Skill diff.
But that became,
crab
again,
game.
some memories of mine that were just special is we'd have people on all 7 computers in the blue room, all 6 computers in the white room, and some people playing from home. And the amount of like teaming up and backstabbing in between a round. I remember Caesar running down the hallway a couple times and being like, Eugene, you could go to hell! And then running back to the white room.
Pushed me off the ledge.
I know it's
every
accidents happen.
time.
I'm just trying to.
Why
I'm
were
trying
you
to
standing
have the
there,
game. You know what I'm saying?
No, what? Shut up, Michael.
Sweaty. It was awful. Like me and Bryce would be like screaming at each other. Benji would be screaming about something.
Yeah.
No,
Like-
Benji. The funniest
The
thing was
lights out.
Benji we did it for the extra live stream, the last thing we did, and out of nowhere, everyone's ganging up on Benji on like the last game. All you hear is him screaming in the background.
Yeah, that was the lights out game where you're all in the big dormitory or whatever, and the lights shut out, and you get a weapon, and the weapon might be a knife, it might be a bat, it might be a samurai sword, or it might be a gun. One person gets a gun. So I remember Dylan, our Twitter manager, is sitting at the computer right in front of me, and right before that, he was like, "Hey, team up, we're cool." And he said, friendly. So it's like, all right, cool. So we start, and I've got the gun, or Dylan has the gun, and I have a knife. So we're just like, all right, let's go. We're going to roll, and we're going to find somebody. And Benji's on stream. And Benji, you can hear him on. I'll find the clip, and I'll put it in the alumni stream chat so y'all can watch it. But Benji's like, oh, no. What's going on? And then we run up on him, and you just hear a gun going off, and Benji starts going, and just starts sprinting. And there's so much stuff like that was just, it was so funny. Hearing Tavion yelling at people,
Oh,
you
God.
bozo! You bozo! What's wrong with you? Sorry, Marissa, what's up?
Bryce just screaming, I'm better!
I'm
sure
better!
I'm better!
Yeah. And Johnny
Oh,
did come in legitimately and beat the hell out of everybody. That
It
was
was-
really, really funny.
It's
He's like,
just
"Oh, yeah,
called
I'll
being an
play.
icon. It's
I'll
just
play."
whatever you
He's
put your
just-
hands
he's-
on turns to gold. It's built different.
Skill
It's what
diff.
happens when you join
Exactly.
Enactus.
Skill diff.
Shut.
This whole call has
Lugian,
been actually a promo for Enactus.
I'm literally calling you and cussing you out. Respectfully.
Respectful.
Of course.
So we are unfortunately at time for the stream. I do want to say though that I will be reaching out to y'all after this. We are gonna put probably this section of it on YouTube as well. I'll give you that link once we get that up. And for future stuff that we do, we've had alumni streams tied to semesterly events in the past. I'll definitely be reaching out to y'all because I feel like this is what it's about, really. No matter how long somebody was in the program, no matter what they did in the program, this is what's important to me. No matter,
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how many things we won or didn't win or programs we did do or whatever, it's about the people. Kyle, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it makes me feel a little bad that I didn't come in with that type of mindset, because I think when I came in, I very much was definitely too competitive focused. I think I arguably took, maybe not necessarily winning, but definitely winning too seriously, and it kind of soured the thing for me. So
Well, but
you
I
know,
think the
but-
important thing, even with that being the case, the important thing I would say is that you're here right now.
Yeah.
So I think I've learned over my very, very long life, being born in the 1900s, that it's rarely about how a thing starts. It's more important
Damn.
how it ends.
Old head.
Thank you for your support. I appreciate
Damn.
it.
Yeah.
It
Kyle,
sounds
we
so
are.
good when 2K says it too. Damn.
Well, he's fucking radio, but dude, he was a
Um,
musician and shit. That's what he does.
But it's less important how things start and more important how they end. So I am
Right.
thrilled that y'all are here. I hope we get to do more stuff like this in the future. And I hope as many of y'all as possible get to stick around and play Fall Guys with us too.
And a quick thing afterwards. I am still planning some alumni streams. So if you would like to be like a part of that, let me know. We could definitely set something up.
I will come to whatever one you message me about. I will not do extra shit though. So if you ask me to make a video
No,
again,
no,
I won't
no,
do
no,
that.
no,
You're
no,
just sliding
no.
down the list by saying that. Sliding down.
All right.
Just honestly, hit me up. I would
And
love
down
to have
another
you.
peg.
Yeah.
Down another peg.
Here are
Let you back
my
in,
rules.
Lucian, and you're already stirring up trouble.
Yeah. But no, thank y'all so much. I really, really appreciate it. Michael, I'll let you and Nick get the Fall Guys kind of going. And
Let's go.
if the rest of the alumni can stick in this Zoom call for a minute, I want to say a couple more things, and then I would love for you to join Fall Guys. We'll put the code in the chat. What's up, Nick?
Yo, we just I mean, it was like 35 minutes ago, but we just passed 12 hours, 50% of the way done.
Oh shit, yeah. And you know why we're able to do that? The power of hint water.
I'm leaving.
Right.
Get me out.
This
Get
stuff is nasty. Get that off the
Yes.
screen.
No,
It's really not that bad.
Hit water's good. Hit water's alright. I fuck with
No,
it.
Lucian,
I
don't.
think
Yeah.
it's
It's got a hint of
That's
flavor,
disgusting. What
and
the
it's like
fuck is it?
scented. It's
It's so
disgusting.
funny.
So Nick and Michael are gone. I genuinely just want to say thank you. Like dead serious. Like with each person in this call, there are things that I can look back on that make we all know. I look at it from a work point of view. Y'all were students here. Wesleyan isn't always the easiest place to be at. For me, the reason I've been here for 8 years is because of shit like this. And it's because of relationships like this and interactions like this. So, Caesar, that's hurtful. I'm not a milk dud. You're a milk dud. That's racially motivated. No, but really, it's all about this. It's all about the memeing and the shit posting and the fun that we can have. And even if we do butt heads or get frustrated with each other, I think about me and Lukian have stayed in touch and talked every couple of months since he left the school, really. And that's meaningful to me. I'm not trying to speak for him, but that's meaningful for me. And I think about the connections that we've had and hopefully that y'all have with each other too. So I just genuinely wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, this is awesome. And thank y'all.
Yeah.
Like really.
Dude, we threw Parker in a scrim against the contenders team, and we almost won the round one time. That was really
If I
funny.
just had a little more confidence, we win that.
It was 99-99. We were like so
Unironically, if I
close, bro.
do something and don't be just terrified of feeding.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
awesome.
the tank that didn't show up, and I was like, "Yo, Parker, he's actively plat right now." I was like, "Yo, you try to come play against like this semi-pro."
Holy shit.
He fucking dude, he did better than our tank that like time though, low key. Like he was
Holy
popping,
shit.
bro. He stood there with his shield and didn't feed.
Jesus
Classic,
Christ.
classic Overwatch moment right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Classic Overwatch.
But
That's why it's a
I
hard game to
filled
play, dude. It's like
I
any
filled
day
in
you could just be
Lucian's
beat by a plat.
semi-pro teams and every role but DPS. I'm just waiting to get called up.
Oh yeah,
Silver
dude,
Genji.
dude. Oh, this was the best story, dude. He went on Mercy to pocket me because one of our supports like was at a wedding or didn't show up or some shit or was late.
At a
right?
wedding?
Yeah,
He was at a Florida morning
Brazen was
wedding.
at a wedding or something. It's like, yo, just pocket me, it'll be fine. And our other support
It's not
boomed
fine.
so much he fed. And Parker wasn't even the worst person on that team, but because he was in the game, the other guy was so angry he threw it. That shit was
enough.
so funny to me. Dude.
I stun locked the enemy team by walking in the middle of 5 people as Mercy. Just in the
Yeah,
middle, I just walked through them.
They
because
weren't
I
ready
got
for it.
smashed from Lucian.
They
And
weren't
I'm
ready
like,
for
oh,
it,
Nobody
dude.
would do that.
Yeah, no, I'm just
It
like,
was
no,
the
I'm
five
just,
strats. They were confused, man. It's like,
I'll
what the
just
fuck?
make my way through
That's
here.
awesome.
Don't mind me.
Well, I'm gonna end this so I can hop over and get in the Fall Guys. Genuinely hope y'all can join us. If you can't, totally understand. But
Yeah.
y'all are in the chat, in
Oh,
the alumni stream chat, and I will be messaging y'all on there when this video is done. And it might take a week or two, honestly. But for
I have
other
a
stuff,
quick
too.
question
Yeah, what's
before
up?
y'all go. Do y'all want to make like a Discord group chat or something, just so like there's something there? Because
Yeah.
I do appreciate these connections with the program. And so somebody needs to bully Kyle into getting a Discord again. So whoever's job it is to do that might be me.
I bet he won't. But we have y'all probably have the university Discord muted, which I understand. But all of you except for Kyle are in a chat in the university Discord.
Oh, that's dope.
So
I'm in
you're
many
in that.
of
What do you
them, not
mean?
just one.
so there, no, but I'm saying like if you look at the university Discord and you go to it's like info and announcements category and then general channels category at the bottom. No, I'm sorry, and then games category. At the bottom of the games category is alumni stream. Parker just tagged Lukey in there. Everybody
probably
that said
change
that
my
they were
name.
going to be in this call, excuse me, except for Kyle, because Kyle's not in our Discord, because Kyle's not really using Discord. But everybody that said yes, they wanted to be here, is in this group. So that at least is going to be a start for what you're talking about, Lukian.
Fair
But
enough.
we can look into something else as well to keep folks a bit more engaged. And I definitely do get that.
I mean,
too,
that's
Johnny, for
fine.
sure.
Like, I don't know. I just want like some place where like people can like
I
back to
get
the
what
whole
you're
like
saying.
nobody understands the connection thing. I want people to be able to be like, I did this really cool thing with esports, and like here's this, and for people to be like, I got you.
Yeah.
You know. I'm
think
not
that-
saying I'm gonna do that. Hold up.
Well, I know you have very poor follow through, so I understand.
Yeah, but
that.
one of the and Eugene, you can speak to this too. But one of the single best things you can do for yourself when you're looking at or thinking about either growing in an industry or growing personally by yourself or both. One of the best things you can do is keeping good and smart people around you, or at least keeping those communication lines open. I've learned so much from people that truly I've either not thought I would learn anything from or hated, previously. And so I'm very thankful for this. I'm thankful I joined, and I hope that well, let me just say this is what it's about. You're right. The culture, the communication, the culture, and the compassion between the community is the biggest thing. Being together and staying together is huge. And this is just going to get bigger. More people are graduating, more people are in the program. It's just going to get bigger. And so I think that keeping this community together is probably the single best thing we could do for not only the university, but for ourselves,
Yeah, and I want to know
I'm with
who the hell is this person and what happened to 2K. But
Yeah,
I agree.
dude,
I
you
agree.
missed the arc, bro.
Teacher.
The depth. Yeah,
Teacher.
you've been through the fire, man.
Yeah.
But I
went
really
to-
am going to
went
stop
to
it now
Bain
so we can
Company.
get Fall
2K to
Guys.
you.
So I'm stopping
All
the
right, man.
call. We're in the chat. We can talk there. Thank y'all
All
so
right.
much for this.
Well,
Thank
I'm
y'all.
gonna
Love you
go-
guys.